Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
It's been mostly abandoned for decades, and now the owner of the Packard plant has missed the city's deadline to start the demolition process. The owner was given until the close of business to actually apply for a permit to demolish the old auto plant.
The city says that didn't happen, so it looks like it'll be up to the city to clear the industrial ruin. Pamela Osborne live at the Packard plant. And Pamela, people in that neighborhood, I think from what we've heard over the years, they don't really care who's responsible. They just want it done.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, these people who grew up or live here in this neighborhood, they certainly acknowledge the history of the Packard plant, but they say that it isn't doing anybody any good just sitting here in this condition. Now that the clock has run out on that developer, they're hoping the city will come in and take this thing down.
Well, his time is up.
Tawanda Posey and her sister Gwendolyn Crittenden grew up on Van Dyke near Harper. They were interested to see what this plant could be when Fernando Palazuelo, a developer from Peru, purchased the property in 2013 with plans of making it a mixed-use space.
I had my fingers crossed, but I was also a little bit pessimistic about it.
But in 2022, it looks more like a ruin than a storied factory.
It's collapsing. It is coming down.
The property had been deemed a public nuisance. Palazuelo had until Thursday to apply for a demolition permit with the city to take the structure down. A city spokesman says the developer missed his court-ordered deadline to do so. The city is considering its next steps, which could include demolishing the plant and billing Palazuelo. It's what Crittenden would love to see.
Just for it to be the way it is now, I think it needs to be tore down.
They worry about school children getting hurt or when they have to park near here at night to visit other neighborhood establishments.
We park over here, and we have to walk to the bar. It's scary.
Robin Scoville lives nearby.
My son and I started shooting a sci-fi action film here a few years ago.
He has his own fond memories.
I'll miss this factory, you know. I wish it could stay. I wish it could be developed, but it just doesn't seem very realistic. And I did reach out to a local attorney representing that developer, and so far we have not heard back. Reporting live tonight in Detroit, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
We will stay on it. All right, Pamela.
Firefighters downriver found themselves putting out flames along I-75. Take a look. This was the scene on the southbound side in Lincoln Park. Firefighters were putting out flames on the grass berm for a stretch of about a mile. Still not clear exactly what caused the fires.
Construction only started last month, but the work on Orchard Lake Road at 14 Mile already impacting businesses there in a big way.
And with construction really planned through November, it could be a very long summer. Megan Woods live in Farmington Hills with how the city is now helping those businesses really caught in the middle of all those orange barrels.
That's right. The city of Farmington Hills just launched a Shop Local campaign, reminding everyone that the more than 70 businesses in this area are open, accessible, and they need people's support, the same amount of support that they were receiving before construction. Visit 14 Mile and Orchard Lake in Farmington Hills now until November, and you'll hear a lot of and see the words open during construction in big bold letters a few times. The project is an adjustment for drivers and businesses.
It's a little bit hard for us, you know, like just one way. We have to live with it, you know.
The same for the Boneyard.
Thank you so much for holding. How can I help you?
It's buried behind construction material.
We're literally become a Google guide here. So we're constantly giving directions to make sure the customer can get here and then get home after.
They've had an 80% increase on their Google Map views, too. Majority of their business comes from carryout, which is a big help. To increase their presence on social media, owners had to boost their marketing budget.
I have to double up on the budget because I have to reach out and remind the people, hey, there's construction, we're still open, come on in.
The city of Farmington Hills just launched a Shop Local initiative to help, releasing a list of businesses and maps to encourage people to do their part.
We have a fun photo contest for people who do visit these establishments. If they have the best photo, then we'll put it on our Facebook page.
And there will be a new winner each week. The city is also encouraging people to sign up online for construction updates so they can see the progress of this project. Here on Orchard Lake, the project is expecting to wrap up in November. Live in Farmington Hills, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
All right, Megan. We could have a bit of a letdown tomorrow after hitting nearly 70 today. Expectations are getting high, right?
I know, Paul. There's a very important game at Comerica Park. You may have heard about it. It's going on tomorrow night. We're wondering, if the wet weather is going to impact the game.
We may have some issues tomorrow night. We're going to deal with that in about 10 minutes. But after a little regression tomorrow, we'll call it maybe a temporary setback. This weekend is going to make you smile. We'll talk about that in about 10 minutes, too. All right, nice shot at Comerica Park. It always looks great lit up here at night, and the temperatures are starting to drop. We are well down into the 50s in some spots, even 40s in some spots. But oh, how the mighty have fallen. Look at how quickly the winds have dropped off from those gusty winds that we had during the course of the afternoon. Severe clear, lots of clear sky around. That's good news, and we'll be talking about that as well. For the kids, though, at the bus stop, tomorrow morning, either mostly sunny skies or partly cloudy skies, depending on where you are. Upper 30s to around 40, so dry with light wind for the morning bus stop. Now, for the afternoon bus stop, rain is close. I think most of us will be dry, but keep an eye on the EPS real-time radar just in case you're just wondering about the kids at the bus stop. But temps only in the mid-50s for a high, and again, that rain is approaching. So we're talking about all of that coming up in a few minutes, but also you have been emailing our newsroom and you've been tweeting me about seeing this in the sky tonight. We're going to talk about what that is, and we have one of our annual meteor showers it's really starting right now. We're going to talk about all of that coming up in 10 minutes, guys.
Paul. Tonight, the Oakland County Sheriff's Office announcing threats to shoot up several high schools were coming from the United Kingdom.
Earlier this month, threats were called into Cranbrook, Brandon, Lake Orion, and Oxford high schools, with the caller claiming to be the Oxford shooter. The threats were deemed not credible, and it turns out they were being made by a 16-year-old boy from the UK. Homeland Security now working with law enforcement in the UK to determine any sort of possible charges. That teen is currently with his parents while the investigation continues. Today, we learned when the suspected Oxford high school shooter will likely go to trial. During a hearing, the court set a tentative trial date for September 6th. Ethan Crumbly, charged as an adult with the murder of 4 classmates. There are monthly hearings to decide if he should be moved to a juvenile lockup, but the judge once again decided he will remain in the Oakland County Jail.
Teenage boy in custody tonight after his younger brother accidentally shot himself at their home on the west side of Detroit. Police say the 16-year-old left a loaded gun on a bed in the room that he shares with his 3-year-old brother. The toddler started playing with the gun, fired the weapon. A bullet grazed his head, but luckily he's going to be okay. Police say the 16-year-old realized what happened, so he apologized to his father, took the gun, and ran off. Police later arrested the teen and found the gun.
On the day before Patrick Lyoya's funeral, protesters gathered in Lansing demanding justice and also calling on the Grand Rapids Police Department to release the officer's name who shot and killed him. Lyoya's family was there today for today's event, organized by the Lansing chapter of Black Lives Matter. The peaceful protest had many people calling on the officer to face charges for the shooting death of Lyoya.
You supposed to serve and protect, but you killing? Is that a part of your repertoire? Is that a part of your DNA?
Really still need to change the laws that governs people, but then hold folks accountable.
Lyoya's funeral will be held in Grand Rapids. Civil rights activist, the Reverend Al Sharpton, will deliver the eulogy. Services are set to begin at 11 a.m.
Congressman Andy Levin testing positive for COVID-19. Levin says in a Facebook post he was tested after he started experiencing mild symptoms today. He was in the news last night because he debated Congresswoman Haley Stevens in Pontiac. Levin says he informed his family, staff, and recent close contacts about his COVID infection and now plans to isolate at home.